Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports is presented by Chase Sapphire. Next weekend, the volleyball world will descend upon Vegas for the PVF Championship. But first, one more regular season match. It's the Columbus Fury taking on the Vegas Thrill. And thank you so much for joining us alongside Emily Eman. I'm AJ Cannell. So glad to have you with us for match 112. We counted of the PVF regular season, a historic regular season to look back upon.
I feel like I blinked and somehow we're already through the year. It has been an awesome season here for the PVF. From adding a new team in the Indy Ignite to the first ever All-Star match, now culminating with 4 teams clinching a playoff spot playing here next week. And now we get to enjoy this one. Vegas trying to get their first win against Columbus.
Let's take a look at our Ren Athletics starting lineups. Megan Lush and Kaylee Cox on the outside for Columbus. The Ohio natives, Kaylee Ramelsberg and Abby Walker in the middle. Nutsara Tomcom, Morgan Lewis on the right side, and Paula Sarame, the libero for Vegas. Anai and Maddox on the outside. Morgan Stout, Lane Van Buskirk in the middle. Lauren Jardine will be the opposite. Carly Graham gets the nod at setter, and Tegan DeFalco is the libero. There is Hannah Maddox, who is top 4 in the league in points scored. Top scoring option for the Vegas Thrill. Lauren Jardine has to cover her own swing. The setter, Carly Graham, gets a swing and gets her team an overdig. Lane Van Buskirk was unable to put that one away.
A sloppy first point, both teams trying to establish their offenses early on. Look for both to try to stay spread out and get everyone involved.
Anai takes charge on the serve receive. Paula Sarame with the second touch. Maddox is blocked, covered by Graham, the setter. So Anai with a great pair of hands. Always comfortable in any ball control situation. Had the set. DeFalco digs. This is a lengthy rally on point 2 of the match, and Jardine terminates.
Well, if this is any indication of how the match is going to go, this is going to be a fun one. Defensive effort all out for both sides, and it's been so important to get that right side going for Vegas, and Lauren Jardine has been massive for them as opposite.
Expect Vegas to serve Kaylee Cox. That was the plan coming in. And we were told coming in that Morgan Lewis was going to start at right side, but Columbus switched it up at the last second and is going with Isabella Raypoch.
Twisted her ankle yesterday at practice, was going to be a game time decision, but a massive addition to this Columbus team that really needs her as that right side attack.
That's off the block and hits the antenna, so a kill for Hannah Maddox, the all-star this year, second-year pro out of South Alabama.
Hannah Maddox is going to get a ton of touches tonight. They're going to go after her in serve receive, and offensively, she is Vegas's go-to attacker. Look for her to put down a lot of balls. And she's got a crazy topspin serve.
There it is. DeFalco tracks it down on the swing by Walker originally. Nutsara Tomcom. Oh, a missed connection with Kaylee Cox.
Timing just a little bit off. Cox going in for a faster go ball. Nutsara Tomcom oversetting it a little bit more of a hot tempo. Look for her to go back to that to establish that consistency.
Well, she only joined the team in late March, a mid-season signee who last year was the PVF setter of the year with San Diego, a decorated career for the native of Thailand. So one of the great stories in the early going of the Pro Volleyball Federation in just year 2 of the league's existence. Been great to have Tomcom as a part of it. On the gap set, Van Buskirk kills it for Vegas.
Lane Van Buskirk has been phenomenal over the past few matches. Started the last 3, put up 10 kills in their last match against Orlando and 7 blocks. She's really hitting her stride right now here at the end of the season for the Thrill.
Been a good server for them as well, but Columbus sides out with Ramelsberg.
Yeah, huge to get Van Buskirk off the service line as soon as possible because she does have that really tough topspin. Beautiful swing from Kaylee Ramelsberg. Just that easy go ball right in front.
Nice short serve by Isabella Raypoch, and Vegas can't get it back over.
This is a rotation where Vegas really has to focus in on serve receive. When you have a Nye going right against Maddox, the server's always going to target that seam.
Raypoch, a top 7-point scorer in the league. Off the blocking down for Morgan Stout, making her second start in a row with Berkeley Oblad, Vegas's top middle blocker, unavailable due to injury.
Yeah, huge miss for Vegas not having Oblad in that lineup. She affects the game so well on both ways, but Morgan Stout filled in, and she did a pretty good job.
That was a crazy angle, that set by Tom Kahn. And over the top, Anai with the miss. So both of these teams coming in well under 500. This is going to be a challenge for a block touch. But we'll hear the official announcement from Young Park, the R1. Gives us a chance to do what I was just about to do, which is give you an idea of where these teams are coming from overall. Columbus 8-19, Vegas 10-17. The playoffs are starting later in the week. This is the final PVF match of all of them this year. And so both of these teams know they're not going to the postseason. Just one more chance to prove what they can do in this regular season finale.
For Vegas, the mindset was very clear. Tonight, they want to go out on a high note. They've had awesome fans come in and night out. Kind of a thank you to them and the organization as a whole to get a win against a Columbus team that they haven't beat all season. The only team in the PVF they haven't defeated.
Columbus has had Vegas's number. We saw some great looks from our crew on the block touch call. Now we're going to wait for the official Bolt 6 review. In the meantime, you look at it, fourth this season between these two teams. Columbus 3-0.
The craziest part of this, too, is Vegas has only won one set off of the Fury this entire year. And I asked Angel Perez about that. He says, we just feel like we match up really well against Vegas, especially for a player like Bella Raypoch. She's just able to go off against a team like the Thrill. See what adjustments they can do tonight in containing her.
And I think our looks told the story. Now we're going to see the official Bolt 6 look with 22 high-definition cameras. Bolt 6 technology in charge of the automated in-out calls and expedited instant replay reviews. In fact, that replay review probably took about as long as you could expect any review to take. It's very quick, the process in the Pro Volleyball Federation to keep it moving at all times as Kaylee Cox sends it down to the floor. The other crazy thing is, even though Columbus has a 9-1 set record this season against Vegas, every single set that has been played between the two teams, both teams have reached 20. So they've been close sets. Columbus is just one in the red zone. So I guess expect another good one today as Graham shoves it outside to Anai, and Sarame goes tumbling into the dig, and Lush goes into the net there.
Decent out-of-system play from Raypoch, getting this high and inside. Lush just not getting her feet quite there to get a good swing on it.
Columbus, the last place team in the league, 3-0 this year against Vegas, 5-19 against the rest. Good news for them, they have one more left, and it's Vegas. Hannah Maddox, a high swing. They had Cox stationed back there on the end line to make the play. And they're arguing for a touch. They didn't get it on the Megan Lush swing. Now the buzzer sounds, and it looks like Columbus is going to go into the timeout because it's a timeout on the floor. I thought there might have been a challenge coming for the block touch there, but there was not. It's just a timeout at 8 points. Vegas is the first team to 8 technical timeout.
Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. By Dove. Keep her playing. Keep her confident. And by Franklin Sports, a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to beautiful Vegas, where the home Vegas Thrill in the regular season finale lead the Columbus Fury in this PVF match 8-6 in the first set. Vegas is led by Ramon Hernandez-Cruz in his first season as head coach of the Thrill. Took over on late notice. Only in December was he officially hired as head coach of Vegas. So he feels like with a full off season this upcoming summer, things are going to be a lot different next year than their 10-17 record. Angel Perez, second year leading the Fury. They're looking forward to, from what he said, they feel like they have a young roster with a lot of potential. In particular, they're Ohio natives on the team. They have 4 of them. They want to keep that core and then add some more experience around them. And that is Angel Perez's lead assistant, Carlos Cardona, who both coached Angel Perez and was also on the same staff as Ramon Hernandez-Cruz. They're all from Puerto Rico. More on that story later on in the match. Meanwhile, Vegas has won 3 straight points. They're going to make sure the floor is not slick. And right now it's temperatures have been heating up. There is an ice rink underneath here. Going to have issues with that in this building.
Be a little sweaty in here.
Anytime you have that hockey rink and the temperatures warm up, you could have issues with the footing out there. This is the home of the Henderson Silver Knights, the AHL affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Silver Knights have been eliminated from the playoffs. The Golden Knights, as the fans, the locals know here, are still very much in it, moving on to the next round recently. But Vegas by 2, going to go in serve-receive now. And the middle blocker, Ramelsburg, who's one of those Ohio natives on the Columbus side, will serve. She came off the bench in their 3-set loss against San Diego on Thursday, played a couple of sets. Now in the starting lineup today, and Maddox terminates.
Huge for Vegas to get out of that side out right away because Ramelsburg is such a good server. Great opportunity, get a good ball and a quick tempo set outside. Good put down for Maddox, going up and over Tom-Com. That's a matchup that Vegas is going to keep trying to exploit.
Morgan Stout misses a serve. Well, Hannah Maddox, one of the great stories of the Pro Volleyball Federation over the first couple of years of the league's existence. If you're not familiar, a little-known player who had a great college career at South Alabama in the Sun Belt. So she was not a household name, but was a PVF All-Star this year and has quickly become one of the faces of the league as Lane Van Buskirk sends one down.
What I think makes this league so exciting is you're watching so many players develop over time. It's been really exciting to see some of these players that maybe you didn't know during their college career. Of course, Lane Van Buskirk at Pitt, she was very well known. So many players that played at mid-majors or smaller schools now getting a chance to shine and doing really well.
It's a combination for sure. As Maddox already off to a good start with a couple of kills in the first set here. Had a swing. Abby Walker out of Cincinnati sends that one home. Because you have one of the biggest strengths of the league is that all these younger stars who were from those powerhouse programs in the NCAA, but it's also very much a meritocracy. You can come in as a Hannah Maddox from South Alabama and win a spot and really thrive. It's going to be an illegal block by a back row setter.
One area for Columbus that Coach Angel Perez has talked about is just that experience factor and really coming into potentially next season having more experience because all the rookies on his team didn't play at high-level games, the Final Four, National Championship. He really wants them to get that experience here.
Outstanding save by Tom-Com. The back set, Jardine to the deep corner. Really nice swing from Jardine.
Great hustle on the Fury side, but not enough to give give a free ball to Vegas, this is what's going to happen. Fast tempo offense of Lauren Jardine going nearly up and over the block to a perfect spot in the back corner.
By the way, the great news for Angel Perez is that the way it works in this sport, whether it be here or internationally, everyone's a free agent every year. So they have a chance to completely revamp the roster. Vegas was all up in the net right there. So much so that Columbus sounded the buzzer, was ready to challenge the call, but it was so obvious that Young Park made the call live.
Quick to the buzzer.
We've seen it before. You can hit that buzzer even before the judgment comes in. Van Buskirk tries to tip. This is a free ball, as you call it, for the Thrill. They have all their options offensively. They go to the middle, and Lane Van Buskirk, who's going to go, I believe, tomorrow to fly out and play for Team Canada in the VNL tournament.
And reporting on Team Canada tomorrow, I mean, this is also a Canada team that is so good. They barely, by one game, missed the Olympic qualifier, so this is a team that is really trying to get there, and Lane Van Buskirk is going to be a big reason why in this next squad.
So she ends her season in Vegas today and is on a plane to go play for the national team tomorrow. That's pretty cool. She also competed last year in the VNL tournament, as there's a big block by Jardine on the right side. She's been coming on later in the season for Vegas.
Lauren Jardine has been so impressive this late in the season. She started the last 4 matches after coming in against Indy off the bench a few weeks ago and put up 19 kills. This is a player that has, I don't want to say gotten a lot of rest, but she hasn't seen a lot of the lineup so far. So she has those fresh legs and she's going in. And honestly, one of the fastest arm swings that I think I've seen in the entire league. She can rip on the ball.
5th round pick, the final round of the draft. They got good value out of that pick. Going with the roll, Raypoch, her counterpart, digs. Cox goes soft. Tom Com to Raypoch, higher swing, and the desired result from Isabella Raypoch.
Beautiful swing from Raypoch with that high ball, going right for the fingertips, seeing where the blockers are, just going right after them.
So Raypoch got the starting nod after she was questionable with an injury, but they're going to dub sub pretty early in the set. Morgan Lewis comes in for Tom Com, and Wilma Rivera will be the back row setter, coming in for Raypoch. And Rivera has a wicked serve. She is top 7 in the league in aces. That is number 17 of the season for Rivera.
What makes the serve so tough is she's a lefty and it has topspin, so it has a funky hook that you don't normally see from other topspin attackers if they're right-handed.
Anai, normally a very good passer. And a point for the Thrill off of that Adora Anai pass.
Anai normally very steady for this Vegas Thrill team. Vegas Thrill team, about 60% of the time in system, teams normally go after Hannah Maddox in that regard.
I mean, on most teams, the player you're trying to avoid the most is the libero when you're serving. But for Vegas, it's Anai. Oh, not a good toss from Jardine. Just lost track of the toss. That is rare to see a toss go that poorly, and that's the reason for the missed serve.
Well, so much of serving is rhythm, and a lot of times you see teams even just practice that toss over and over again, especially if you do have a funky hybrid serve or a topspin serve. It's really important, and that's exactly why.
Left-hand finish for Carly Graham. She is making her 5th straight start at the setting position for Vegas. Alicia Childress, the legendary Penn State national champion and Olympian, is the other setter on the Vegas roster. They've been going with Graham more later in the season, and she sends this match into a timeout. Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports is presented by Chase Sapphire. The Columbus Fury visiting the Vegas Thrill in this 8-team Pro Volleyball Federation. You look across the entire regular season schedule. Each team plays every other team 4 different times. And there's a 28-match regular season schedule for all 8 teams. You do all the math there. This is the 112th and final regular season match of the season for all of the PVF teams. Earlier today, Omaha defeated Atlanta in Atlanta, ending the Vibe's 13-match record winning streak. It was a 4-set win for Omaha.
Good finish to the regular season for Omaha. We knew that was going to be a battle and a potential preview of what we might see this weekend in the PVF playoff here in Vegas.
Yep, hosted here starting on Friday, the semifinals. Those are the 1 and 2 seeds, Omaha and Atlanta in the tournament. Omaha playing Indy, Atlanta playing Orlando in the semis on Friday with the championship on Sunday. All of that's going to be on CBS Sports Network as Megan Lush earns the side out. Bolt 6 shows that that was well in bounce. And Kaylee Ramelsberg is back to serve. Oh, Megan Lush was also a national champion at Penn State. Different era slightly than Alicia Childress, but talking about Childress, the setter for Vegas going into the break. Megan Lush, a key player, a 10th-year pro for Columbus. Van Buskirk, a nice swing.
Really good swing from Van Buskirk. She is so good on this gap set. It's a little pushed more toward the outside, so the blockers have to decide which hitter they're going to go up with, and that leaves nearly an open net for Van Buskirk to go up and crush.
Graham likes to serve short. That's as short as it gets. She dropped that thing on the top of the net, literally. And Jardine earns a point there that went off the block and then out of play.
Vegas' offense is running incredibly well. On the flip side, the Fury is having struggles staying in system, running the offense. They're going to have to find some consistency there and get something flowing.
Vegas is 444, Columbus 125, and a timeout by the Fury. We just mentioned earlier today that Omaha defeated Atlanta 3-1. And I saw there were a number of starters for both teams that were playing in this one, despite the seeding already being decided. But Omaha in 4 on the road. Nobody ever won more consecutive matches than Atlanta with 13 in a row. I wonder if there's a part of them, though, that doesn't mind that they get that out of the way first before the playoffs. They snap the winning streak, and now all that pressure that you could associate with a long winning streak is no longer.
And that match, too, 3 of those 4 sets coming within 3 points. So pretty much as close as it gets for those matches. And I think both teams are going to bring such a good mindset. And if you're resting players, they're going to look pretty good next weekend when they're full go.
8 o'clock Eastern, CBS Sports Network, and then immediately following the other semifinal at 10:30. This 19-16 lead ties the largest lead of the set. And Graham serving. Megan Lush hits down the line. Rivera backsets Walker, and that is blasted all the way across and out off the block. So it's 19-17, Columbus back within 2.
Columbus keeping Wilma Rivera in that setting position just to try to get some consistency going. Although she is a shorter blocker up front. Look for Vegas to go after that.
So they dub sub with Rivera coming into the back row, and now keeping her in the front row. Lauren Jardine finishes there. It's 20-17.
One big key for Columbus coming in was controlling the opposite. They know that Vegas's outsides are going to get kills, but can they limit one other pin attacker? And right now, Lauren Jardine is having a great night.
Had a 3-match stretch recently, Jardine, where she had 52 total kills in a 3-match span. Graham, an interesting thought, but she just missed.
Yeah, I love that move, seeing where the defense is and putting it exactly where they aren't, just missing slightly long.
Walker is the server. Those teams will target Maddox. She passes nicely, and Anai pays it off.
Columbus is having major issues with that overload set. When you have a middle right next to the outside, the blockers don't know where to go up. Watch the middle on Columbus' side. Gets a little bit jumpy, and all of a sudden, Anai has an open net.
Van Buskirk has 7 aces in somewhat limited action this season. She'd spent some time on the practice squad. She had spent some time playing behind Morgan Stout. A missed serve there from the Pittsburgh alum. And now back with Rivera behind the service line. Already has an ace. Anai goes off the block and out.
Good strong swing from Medora Anai, going up, seeing where the blockers were, and attacking the edges of the block, not going through them or around them, just going for good fingertips.
Jardine right now, I think she's just having some second thoughts about that toss. She's battling something.
Yeah, again, and serving is such a rhythm. One that she had before them, went way too far forward. This time, tried to overcompensate, going a little bit behind her. Rhythm just kind of all off by the end line. Sometimes we see that happen with topspin servers. You might look for them to go back to a float serve just to keep it simple, too.
Even with Vegas ahead, they still have no aces and 6 service errors, whereas Columbus, despite that error right there, has an even ratio of 2 aces and 2 errors. That just shows you how good Vegas has been in the first set to compensate for that differential. They've given away 6 free points on missed serves. They are up by 3.
That's the difference in why this match is so close, especially with Vegas hitting over 400 and Columbus well below 200.
Maddox with a thumb down shot. Sarame would have liked that one back, although it's tough with the velocity on the swing there from Hannah Maddox. The lights go off here whenever it's a set point in Vegas.
Party here in Vegas.
We're in a Sunday early evening match, regular season finale, and that's threaded down by Kaylee Ramelsberg. So Columbus will get a chance here on its serve, but still down 3 more set points to try and kill. DeFalco the pass. Stout punches that one. Dug by the middle blocker, Ramelsberg. Block touch off the swing by Lush. Back set for Stout. Two-hand touch by Lush. And the point for Columbus there within 2.
Big transition plays on the Fury side. Great defensive touches have led to good offense. Those connections look a lot better than they did at the beginning of the set.
So even though Columbus just won a point on its serve, they are going to put in a substitution, but first, a timeout from Vegas.
You have Ashley Wenz going in for Megan Lush. She just provides a bigger block out there. And with the keeping to control that opposite, knowing that Lauren Jardine is over there, kind of more of a blocking sub on the outside, which you don't normally see for teams.
Columbus has done that a couple times before, and we're going to see it coming up here. But first, let's talk about Tuesday at 10 Eastern, the Tacoma Defiance and the Portland Timbers squaring off in the round of 32 in the country's oldest ongoing soccer competition. It's the U.S. Open Cup on CBS Sports Network, streaming live on Paramount+. So Columbus going extra big with a blocking sub. We're potentially about to see something very rare, almost unprecedented, and that is Vegas winning a first set. This one's going to shock you. Now, you think I'm being sarcastic.
Give it to me, come on.
18 first set losses in a row. They are 2-25 this year in the first set.
Well, there's something about starting fast, and clearly this Vegas team has not been able to do that. But there's also something to be said for playing your last home game of the season and have that energy of the crowd behind you, knowing that you want to give them something.
I swear everything on this. I was brushing my teeth this morning, and I was thinking today is the day Vegas is going to break the streak.
You're about to jinx it because Columbus now coming in hot with some good serving from the back line. Kaylee Ramelsberg coming up clutch.
Because now they're about to not actually break it because Columbus deals up its third ace. And it's a 3-0 run for the Fury. And it's another timeout by Vegas. They have only one more set point to work with.
Columbus getting it done with great defense and really good serving. Kaylee Ramelsberg has one of the toughest serves on this Columbus team. She doesn't get it on the court often, doesn't have the ability to do it, but when she does, it's coming in kind of like a hybrid, has a funky side spin on it, makes it really difficult to pass. That forces the other team out of system. Columbus's defense is just digging into easier balls.
Vegas has gotten better this year as the year has gone along, passing after they added Adora and I to the roster, making that addition. But just in general, when you get stuck in a rotation like this and you're struggling to pass inside out, what's the mindset? What's the thought process from Vegas?
Well, for Carly Graham, the setter, she needs to tell her passer, say, I'm good with 10 feet off. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to get me up at the net. Just get this ball high and off the net, and we can still run a good offense.
Take a little pressure off them. I like it. Well, Vegas has changed out its rotation. Alicia Childress and Willow Johnson are in there at center and right side. Pass by DeFalco's a good one. Childress sets Maddox. It gets down off the top of the block, and the Flames streak of losing the first set.
The offense powering through that first one. Regardless of who was setting that entire set, Carly Graham did a phenomenal job, and Alicia Childress finishing it off beautifully.
The 2024 PVF Most Inspirational Award winner, Alicia Childress, comes in at the very end and gets the deciding assist.
Vegas takes the first set, and Lane Van Buskirk has been phenomenal so far. 4 kills already, hitting 500, doing a really great job, being that good physical presence up front that Vegas needed. They've been trying to get more balance to this offense and keep the distribution even. When she's up, it makes this offense really tough to stop, hitting a blistering 444 during set 1. I mean, you look at these stats top to bottom, and it's kind of crazy that this set was so close as it was, 25-23, but really those 6 service errors for Vegas were the difference.
That was the only thing that kept it close. And also, usually if you're setting the middle a lot and the middle is having a lot of success, that's a sign that you're in system. And besides that one final stretch, trying to hold on and win on set point, Vegas was great passing. 68% positive passing percentage. That's huge.
It's a pretty insane number. Normally the goal for context is about 60%, and teams don't normally hit that throughout sets or throughout matches. What that tells you is Vegas is passing incredibly well, so Columbus needs to put in a little bit more service pressure and try to knock them out just a little bit more.
That was the 11th set played of the season between the two teams in the 4th match. It was just the 2nd time that Vegas had won a set against Columbus. The streak continues. Both teams have reached 20 points every single time they've faced each other in a set, all 11 this year. But the streak ends. Vegas snaps an 18-match losing streak in the first set. Just their 3rd time this year winning a first set. Good to do it in their season finale. Block touch against Ray Potch. Van Buskirk feeling confident at the moment. It's a good touch by DeFalco. And an eye whips one down.
Haven't seen too much back row action from Vegas so far, but a great time to get it going. Having that extra offensive weapon in the backcourt. Now Vegas is using 4 against those 3 blockers.
The transaction deadline in the league is April 1st. All the rosters locked. It's not just trades, it's all transactions. That's the deadline. The Thrill added Anai on the deadline day, and she's been a great addition, just a perfect fit for their roster as Cox is able to score.
Dora Anai is a double-double machine. The way that she's able to affect the play, both offensively, a massively high point score, but also in the backcourt, she is phenomenally defensively.
Jardine going cross-body right there for the kill.
Lauren Jardine having a pretty good match so far, hitting above 700. They're really working to get her going out there. She's hitting all shots, showing off her range.
It's been the consistency this year. A player like Jardine has had huge ups, but also got benched last time out against Orlando. And the previous time that Vegas played Columbus, they started a different opposite hitter all 3 sets of the sweep. So it's been a little bit of mix and match this year for the Vegas roster on a team that started 7-2 and is 3-15 since.
Yeah, a lot of differences we've seen through this Vegas roster. I mean, so many different people starting a lot of different combinations. It feels like any possibility of starting combinations we've seen play out from set to set. It's a team that was still trying to find their footing and has a lot of change as well.
Shank pass there by Maddox. And that's the one component of her game that she needs to find a way to improve, because everything else, she pretty much does it. But teams will target her, and that's an ace serve for Kaylee Cox.
So one of the biggest things that was good for Vegas during set 1 was Hannah Maddox in her passing. She passed it over 70% in the system. That's phenomenal. She has to continue to do that, but she also knows she's going to get targeted and potentially worn down in that way. She has to stay consistent.
But it's the challenge for a lot of these younger players who played at a high level in the NCAA. You don't necessarily need to do that. You can play 3 rotations in the NCAA, not play the back row. In the pros, there's not enough substitutes to do that, so the pins have to play all the way around. In fact, everyone does. That's a set by the middle blocker, Ramelsberg, and she earns the assist. Except that it was out. No touch. I got caught up in the set.
It was honestly a stunning set.
You don't normally see a middle blocker do that.
Sometimes middles think that they're the best setters, though.
Do they? What are your thoughts?
Hey, as long as they do it confidently, have at it.
Ray Potch has to keep herself behind the attack line there. Hey, middle blocker set alert. Van Buskirk.
Go.
Ray Potch on the D ball. Okay, Van Buskirk with 2 sets during the point. Make it 3. It's like she knew we were talking about it. With the libero out, she is the second option, and Vegas wins the point.
That's exactly what you need. When the setter's taking the first ball and you're a middle coming in to serve, you know that you have to take that second one, so you need to be as confident as possible. I love the mindset that Van Buskirk had going in for those.
3-0 run for the Thrill. Good decision by Graham, force-feeding Morgan Stout.
What a set from Carly Graham. 10 feet off the net, still is able to get this middle going. That really shows off the range that Graham has as a setter to get the middle going. That is very difficult to do.
You've said this to me recently, that on those gap sets, that's more doable on a play where the setter is off the net. You can still feed the middle on the gap play as Lush misses it.
And when you're running a quick, which is right next to the setter, you just don't have the range because the angle is a little bit weird. When you're running a gap, it's closer to the outside, so you have the ability to have a little bit more range when you're off the net.
And still incorporate a middle in that situation. Good serve by Van Buskirk. On the slide, Ramelsberg. Here is Lane Van Buskirk showing off the hands, looking for an assist. Not quite, but gets Columbus out of system. Great out-of-system swing by Megan Lush.
Even better out-of-system bump set from the libero, Paula Sarame. Beautiful ball coming from the right back corner, going all the way back to left front. It's very difficult to have that ball location perfect, but it was.
In that case, the player that normally takes the second ball, the libero, but when the middle blocker is serving, they take the spot of the libero on the court. And that takes us to a timeout with Vegas already in front by a set, and now in front 8-4 in the second set. Regular season finale for both teams, and Vegas is up in the second set and also leading by a set. Let's take a look at the play of the game, brought to you by Chase Sapphire. It is not very often that you see a middle blocker take 3 different sets in the course of 1 point.
And this was awesome. The confidence that Lane Van Buskirk had coming into some of these plays. Setter takes the first ball. She was coming in as to serve, so she had to take that second ball, and what she did was put up 3 perfect balls to her attackers to go up and take big rips at. I love to see it.
Vegas wound up winning the point on that miss, and so that is your Chase Sapphire play of the game.
She's been heating up lately offensively and serving-wise. Why not throw a setting in there?
And timed it perfectly, right as we were having a conversation about middle blockers setting. All of a sudden just gets 3 of them in 1 point. Adora Anai is over there building the roof.
Beautiful block from Adora Anai, getting those hands so far over the net and turning her left hand back in so the hitter couldn't use it.
Takes a big cut out of system.
All momentum is going Vegas' way right now. Columbus has to find a way to slow them down offensively. The defense just has not been there tonight for the Fury, but they have to find ways, even in broken plays, just to get a touch.
Now an 8-1 run. You could sense something in Vegas' mentality this morning. They were super motivated to perform one more time in front of the home crowd and really make their presence known, make people remember them going into the offseason. Gonna have an opportunity here. Already 8 of the last 9 points. Anai has a swing, and it's down for Adora Anai.
This Vegas offense just can't be stopped right now. Beautiful swing from Anai back back-to-back, going up and over the block. This is a matchup that Vegas is going to try to exploit, especially with Rivera up front. Just a beautiful ball.
Let's take a look at tonight's player profile, brought to you by Dove. Adora Anai, coming over from Orlando mid-season, finished last year 6th in the entire Pro Volleyball Federation in points, and the Hawaii native, a great addition late in the season for the Thrill.
Yeah, I love what she brings to a team. It's not just that high point scoring. She is such a good passer, really great defender, and it's that all-around game that I think really adds to her high caliber of play. She's been doing it for a long time, a 7-year pro, now in her 8th season playing pro. So she has that experience, really high volleyball IQ, and just knows the game so well, especially for some of these younger players on this Vegas squad. I think they can learn a lot from a player like her.
She's a stabilizer at all times, even in situations where it's a free ball over, just making a great touch, oftentimes using her hands where other players are more comfortable with the platform. But back to the point from before, just what did you see this morning? You had a chance to attend practice. I was still on a flight. Inside information. But you were at practice, and you could sense something from Vegas.
Yeah, you could tell just kind of a different mindset. Not that they haven't had it all season, because they have, but when you look at this organization, I think the love that they have for just the front office staff, for the fans that come in every day, just to put on a show for them in this last match. Obviously, it has not been the kind of season that they wanted. They're 7th in the league, 10-17, but they know that they have some of the best fans in the entire league, and they want to go off on a high note.
Finally, a side out for Columbus, delivered by Abby Walker. They also have a really exciting team, even though the record hasn't been great. I mean, they lead the league, 6 All-Stars on their roster.
I mean, it's a super fun team, top to bottom. You start looking at their bench, you know, a player like Cameron Hanna, who obviously is coming off of a national championship from Penn State. Really high caliber rookies that I think we saw in the beginning of the year that maybe not so much anymore, but it's just so fun to watch.
A lot of the first-year players have hit a little bit of a wall as the season has gone along. Just the continuation straight away from the NCAA season in Vegas, particularly reliant upon the younger players. Charity Looper, another name, but she's not available tonight with injury. Good serve by Adora Anai. And now Maddox loads up. Rivera to Raypoch. Picks out her spot right in the middle of the court.
Great defense from Columbus. Megan Lush picking up a beautiful ball, really locked in that off-blocker defense. If you're not going up to block, you need to make sure you're locked in, and that's what Lush did, to allow that transition to happen.
Not only making sure she got the ball up, but finding the setter in a good spot. On the pick, Jardine. Another good defensive play from Columbus. And it leads to a score. Columbus trying to dig its way back in.
And Columbus really struggling offensively up until that point, hitting negative during this set. They have to find a way to just get some kind of connection, whether it's in the front or the back court.
Columbus's lone all-star, Megan Lush, is the server. That was a very easy serve to handle. Doesn't matter. Stout is rejected.
Great commit block for Columbus, knowing that in a perfect pass situation off of a serve, Vegas is going to go to this middle right behind the setter. A beautiful shutdown.
I guess sometimes passing isn't everything. Vegas couldn't have been more in system there. But as you explained, Columbus had a plan, and now forcing Vegas to call timeout.
And all of a sudden, tide shifting just a little bit. Columbus able to string together a few really good defensive plays that has led to some better offense than what we've seen, getting more people involved too.
Now a 4-1 run for Columbus going into the timeout. Well, the last game of the regular season in the entire PVF. So at this point, I think we need to come to a decision on the MVP race. Well, we'll give you some options.
It has been such a fun season and some massive stars. I think one of the biggest names has been Brittany Abercrombie, the opposite for Orlando. She is just crushing the league in terms of kills per set and kills. She's able to take over a match just phenomenally. Then you look across the league, you got a player like Leah Edmond for Atlanta, the outside. What I love about her is her all-around game. Yes, she's a high point scorer in terms of kills and aces, but she's such a good defensive player. She's top 10 in the leagues in digs as well. Then a sneaky player like Ajani Taylor, the opposite from Indy. She has really come alive this season. She was a practice player last year for Orlando and now is top 7 in the league in kill percentage, kills, blocks, points, and her defense to me really sets her apart from some other players. Just that well-roundedness.
They all have a case. Columbus again for the last 5 points, and Vegas nets.
Just air starting to creep up for the Thrill. They need to play very clean, disciplined volleyball from here on out. We'll get the double sub back in.
It's about as high quality a double sub as you could ask for with Alicia Childress, the former Olympic bronze medalist in 2016, coming in. Along with Willow Johnson, experienced pro who played at Oregon, is also the daughter of MLB Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. And Columbus is just steamrolling through right now. They're still down by 2. The kill from Kaylee Cox, but they're on the move, a 6-1 run.
Part of the reason that double sub went in was to provide a bigger block on that right side. Johnson has to make sure that she's turning those hands in.
And a missed serve ends the run. I mean, it's a little, not to be harsh, but I'm looking at it. Johnson, a blocking sub. She has 2 blocks all season.
Provides a little bit more height, though.
The size is there. I mean, yes, you're comparing it to the center. You're obviously getting an upgrade there. I'll touche you on that as Maddox kills.
Massive swing for Hannah Maddox. She's a player that has been so good through the first about set and a half. Got a little bit quiet over the last 10 points or so. So good decision to get her going again now that she's back in the front court.
Good cover by Lush. Raypoch with a laser down the line.
Raypoch is going to have to continue to be a massive offensive weapon for this Columbus team. She normally carries them. Playing a little bit down, she twisted her ankle yesterday in practice. Weren't even sure if she was going to play today. It looks pretty good to me.
Johnson puts one home. What do you see on film from Raypoch? Because she is Columbus's top scorer this year.
I think the biggest thing is she has such a heavy arm and she has a lot of range. So she can hit those crazy cross-court shots, but she also has a really great line shot. Also very physical right side attacker and has the ability to just barrel through a block.
She's one of those under-the-radar players in college that really has had a great pro career. Came from Temple. And here she gets a swing and showing off the big arm, Isabella Raypoch.
It's that powerful arm that she's got. There's so much strength right in it, and she really uses her entire body when she's swinging, and I think that gives her just that extra little pop.
Well, we saw Tom Com start the match. Was taken out for Rivera of the rotation. Now is back in there. Morgan Lewis in front as Columbus dub subs, but Vegas has created more separation. Going to the timeout at 16 points in the second set. 16-12, Vegas in front of Columbus. The Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports is presented by Chase Sapphire. Well, in less than a week's time, this will be the site of the 2025 PVF Championship, Year 2. The defending champion Omaha Supernovas winning earlier today. They've already been locked in as the 1 seed. And on you go down the line. Atlanta as the 2, Orlando as the 3, Indy as the 4. All competing for the $1 million prize. It's going to be right here in this building in Lee's Family Forum starting on Friday for the semifinals on CBS Sports Net.
I mean, if you're not going to be there in person, you're missing out because it is going to be a party here in Vegas. They do such a fun job in the arena, and to watch for the last time this season all of those 4 teams play, I think you got to watch or get here in person. Fun excuse for a trip to Vegas. Come on. I know you're coming out.
I am. I mean, there's more than a few reasons to make a trip to Vegas. We know this. So Anai doing her best in that situation as the set overshot Van Buskirk. As Childress are trying to get aggressive and feed the middle. Now it's back to a 2-point margin. Willow Johnson has a huge arm on the right side. That's her biggest strength. To Anai. Faster set to Lush. Diving dig by Johnson, and Maddox goes off the top of the block and out.
Hannah Maddox has been so effective on that back row set. Anytime they can get it going, especially in transition, it's done really well because the defense isn't necessarily expecting that back row set to happen.
The one issue so far today for Vegas has been the missed serves. Everything else has been pretty good. Vegas led in this set at one point 12-5. It's now 17-15. That's their 8th service error already, compared to no aces.
6 of those coming in the first set.
That's a good pass by Maddox. Here's Anai. Here's Johnson. Tom Com chooses Lush. Great dig by Anai off blocker defense, but a bad touch there from Johnson.
Yeah, these are the plays that you practice all the time in your gym. And these out-of-system balls, they might be a little bit chaotic, but you have to calm that chaos and just put up a high ball. An outside can get to it even if it's 10 feet off the net.
Bramblesburg went on a late run in the first set, almost coming all the way back for Columbus.
Bit of a miscommunication on Columbus's side again. If there's chaos happening, just send the ball high. Someone's got to call it off.
Childress going short. Lewis finds the back corner, a good choice from the second-year pro out of Oregon, Morgan Lewis.
Really smart shot from Morgan Lewis. She didn't necessarily show that she was going to hit this ball, so you knew it was going to be a tip, but not that it was going to go to the back corner. Really smart shot going over the libero.
Columbus unwinds the dub sub. Raypoch and Rivera are back in. Rivera will serve. Tell us about the dub sub. For those, volleyball, maybe not 101, maybe 201. The purpose behind what we call the dub sub.
Yeah, so typically you'll see this double substitution come in. You'll see a setter go in for the right side when they're going in the backcourt, and then when the setter comes front row, you have the right side coming in because it provides a bigger block, essentially rotating in, and then you'll rotate them back out once the right side goes back row. So you'll keep a right side in the front row and have 3 attackers up front at all times.
Now, it's something in the NCAA game that a lot of people are familiar with. When you have 15 substitutes, you can do that perpetually, essentially, unless the game goes really deep into deuce, and just run what you call a 6-2 offense, 6 hitters, 2 setters. In the pro ranks, you can only do that temporarily because you only have a limited number of subs. You only have 8 substitutes in this particular league, the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Yeah, so normally you'll see in the college game a lot of 6-2s happening, especially in the last few years. Here professionally, you'll see it utilized normally late in sets when you want a big blocking sub. Maybe you have an undersized setter coming in, you need some height up front. and that offensive option, you keep it in the front court.
Volleyball fans, Lee's Family Forum just outside Las Vegas will host the second Pro Volleyball Federation Championship on May 9th and 11th. The top 4 PVF teams will face off for the opportunity to earn a cool $1 million prize. All session tickets start at just $49. Single day tickets at $29. That's on sale now at provolleyball.com/tickets. That is a heck of a deal. PVF Championship bracket. Number 1, Omaha. Number 4, Indy. The 2 seed Atlanta. The 3 seed Orlando. That's Friday on CBS Sports Network.
I mean, I couldn't be more excited. We've got Brooke Nunavilla for Omaha going up against Ajani Teeler for Indy. Leah Edmond of Atlanta going up against Brittany Abercrombie for Orlando. It almost feels unfair that 2 of those players have to get nixed after the first day. But hey, that's why it's the playoffs.
Just to see all of that talent in one room.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Maddox, higher swing, and it was again 12-5 Vegas earlier in this set. Columbus has overtaken the thrill.
Columbus's offense still isn't even firing. They're still hitting below 150. Just too many errors on Vegas' side. They're shooting themselves in the foot after they had a comfortable lead earlier in this set.
And Maddox is blocked. It's a 2-point lead for the Fury.
And all of a sudden, Columbus comes storming back. They're finding ways to knock the thrill into chaos. Short serves, jamming some of those attackers up. Vegas doesn't have an answer.
Allison Mayfield is going to come in as a serve-receive sub for Hannah Maddox. Well, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz trying to use all those subs right now. Mix something up with all of the momentum in the camp for Columbus. And add one more. Kaylee Cox makes it a 5-0 run.
The offense is finding some rhythm here way late in the second set. We didn't see too much of it through the first set and a half. They're finding ways to connect right now.
Columbus service error. Megan Lush finally ends the run. Morgan Stout's going to go back to serve, try and recapture some momentum for Vegas. She's been a good server this year in her rookie season at Wichita State. 4th round draft pick. Yeah, serves him out of system there at the libero. But Cox still able to swing big right there. And Columbus is within 2 points of the set.
Columbus is playing with nothing to lose right now. You can tell these attackers are going all out for everything.
Jardine, after checking back in, she finds the result.
Vegas is not done yet, and if you've seen Lauren Jardine play, you know that in these kind of moments, she comes alive. She was made for them with that massive arm.
Ray Potts, that is in. Excellent swing by Isabella Ray Potts.
Just skimming that back line. A beautiful shot going over the blockers. A great finish.
3 set points for the Fury. DeFalco takes the second. Jardine loads back up. Kate Georgiadis is in the libero spot for Columbus. Had a dig. Graham digs it. Jardine feeding a nine. Tipping to the donut.
Vegas has got some life to them. That defense digging in, getting the offense in good position so Graham can set these attackers. Very high IQ play from a nine.
Allison Mayfield, a 10th-year pro, won a league title last year with Omaha with the serve. Recently checked in for Maddox. Rivera to Kaylee Cox. Gonna go right back there. Dig to Falco. Tig Anai. Dig to attack, and she is rejected, and Columbus wins the second set. It was a 12-5 thrill lead, and Columbus came all the way back to win the set by 3. Do the quick math. I believe that's a 20-10 run the rest of the way for Columbus. Impressive turnaround for the Columbus Fury. And Megan Lush always playing a key role, former national champion at Penn State. And we're going to get a chance to speak with Megan coming up right now with Emily.
Megan, your team was down about 7 to start off that second set. What changed?
I don't know. I just think we started playing a little bit harder, and they gave us some easy points, but we definitely earned our points too as well. And so that's something we've been working on all season, is not letting a team wait for them to give us points, but earn them on our side. And I think we focused more on that as we were getting closer and closer.
For the rest of this match, starting off set 3, what's the biggest difference you need to see from your team?
I think service pressure's got to be, we got to keep up in that, and even if we miss a couple, but the serve pass game is always where volleyball starts and ends. So if we can put a little bit more service pressure on them and then continue to manage our serve receive, I think we're giving ourselves a good chance to win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Columbus ties it up at 1, coming all the way back in the second set. And who knows where you go from here in the season finale. Both teams still have some fight left in them. All tied up at 1 set here in Vegas. Welcome back on the CBS Sports Network. PVF action. Vegas winning the first set, Columbus winning the second. Well, it's hard to look at these numbers and figure out how Columbus wound up coming back in the second set from a 12-5 deficit and winning. But they just figured out a way despite these lopsided numbers still in Vegas' favor.
You really think about the serve and pass battle, and Columbus did a much better job from the midway point of the second set through the end of that, getting really good passes. The offense was very balanced. I thought they had a few players really step up. Kaylee Cox did a phenomenal job on the outside. And Bella Raypoch, phenomenal on the right side, was really big during that set.
8 kills, 316 overall for Raypoch, the 8th-year pro.
Raypoch is doing a nice job getting down to anywhere on the court. Front court or the back court, she's finding kills, really mixing up her range of attack. We're seeing a lot of off speeds from her to the middle of the court, but they've been so effective because she's a player that's really known for her heavy arm.
And remember, with both teams out of contention for the postseason, she is battling through injury to play in this match and has shined through the first couple of sets. We are all tied up at 1. The third set coming your way shortly from Henderson, Nevada. The Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports is presented by Chase Sapphire. The Vegas Skyline heading into set 3 of this regular season finale match between Vegas and Columbus. The Fury visiting the Thrill, the end of year 2 of the Pro Volleyball Federation. This site just in the burbs of the Vegas area. Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada will be the site of the championships Friday and Sunday. Semifinals on Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock local time on CBS Sports Network. AJ Cannell alongside Emily Eamon this season finale day. It's the 112th. I love the fact that we counted 112th match of the season across all the PVF teams.
I tried to just multiply. You didn't like that.
I wanted to make sure I counted to make sure that we had no math slipping through.
Crazy how multiplication works.
Yeah, you had it, I think, your way, but Walker sends it to the floor.
And Columbus's offense already firing here to start off this first set. There was no offense from Columbus during set 1. It got better during set 2. Not something that is a direct result of better passing and better defense.
Rivera, the back set to Raypoch.
come back. This is something that Columbus did during set 2. They have Paula Sarame as the serve receive libero, and then they'll switch liberos with Kate Georgiadis when they're serving, so she's the defensive libero.
Become a very common thing across the league this year, as it's just worked out with some of the personnel. Vegas has done that a lot this year, not doing it tonight with Mary Schroll unavailable. So Columbus will serve. There you go. Sarame back out. Georgiadis to play defense as the team serves.
Something that's becoming more common in the women's game. It's pretty common in the men's game, but as players just have different strengths, your team might as well play to it.
Why do you think it's now becoming more common in the women's game?
To be honest, I think the women's game in a lot of ways is becoming more similar to the men's game, just with how powerful and good some of these athletes are, and a lot of these coaches also coming over from the men's game. If you have a player that's great at serve receive but not the best defender, it makes sense, and you have the other one vice versa.
And of course, that doesn't count as a substitution. Maddox hitting cross-court, dug by Lush. Graham in behind, a good slide swing from Morgan Stout.
Vegas needs a lot more middle production. They only had 6 total sets to either middle during the second set. This was a great job early on establishing the middle back as a threat to make sure the blockers can't keep guessing.
Hannah Maddox serves at Kaylee Cox. Ray Potts through the seam in the block, dug by Jardine. On the angle, Anai, dug by Sarame. Graham pushing people out of the way to get that second touch. But Columbus scores the point. Kaylee Ramelsberg out of Westerville, Ohio.
The biggest thing Columbus has made a difference on from the beginning of the match until now has been that transition piece. The defense is working so hard to get the setter up at the net so they're able to run plays like that in transition.
Because Vegas is outpassing Columbus, so the Fury are winning in other areas like transition. Ramelsberg is down.
Another perfect example. The defense not only getting touches on these plays, but getting the setter up at the net, and the middles are working so hard to get off, so they're up and available.
Ramelsberg, a former Big South Freshman of the Year at High Point, then moved on to Indiana University in college. Into the pocket there for Georgiadis. Now Kaylee Cox with a swing, and that's hitting the court once again. We are seeing a continuation of the end of the second set here.
I think Rivera's doing a really nice job of running this offense with tempo. When the ball is up at the net, it's really fast, so it's not giving the defense and blockers enough time to set up and get there.
Ray Potts, the float serve at Maddox. Decent pass. And that ends a 3-0 run. The kill from Anai.
Just an easy shot for Anai. Not an easy shot in terms of getting the kill, but not the best set to her. She took a little bit off of it, just found an open spot on the court.
Perfect pass by Lush. Over dig, and Cox nearly scored, but Anai hit the deck for the dig. That is absolutely crushed by Kaylee Cox.
Kaylee Cox taking some big rips. It looks like that shoulder is getting warmer and warmer as the match has gone on. I love how aggressive she's being, especially on that overpass, just taking a big rip at it.
Talk about under-the-radar prospects. Again, we have a lot of different people from big-time schools, names that you've heard of in college. Kaylee Cox out of Western Kentucky. Similar to Hannah Maddox on the other side out of South Alabama. Ramelsberg, a solo stuff against Van Buskirk.
Good read for Ramelsberg up front, lining up her shoulders with the opposing middles, and a good shutdown.
It's her first start in a while. She got some looks earlier in the season. Big block against Van Buskirk.
The Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Franklin Sports, a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to Vegas. Kaylee Cox, 7 kills, 10 digs for Columbus.
And she's just heating up right now. I mean, she has taken swing after swing over the last few rallies, really using a lot of that power, that high volleyball IQ. Also getting targeted in service even. She's really holding her own back there as well.
Back-to-back first-team all-conference performer at Western Kentucky. She was the Conference USA Player of the Year. Been an issue all year for the Thrill. They're one of the more terminal teams in the league, but they just make too many errors from their attackers.
A lot of that is having so many attackers that are actually pretty young and inexperienced. A player like Lauren Jardine, who's been in and out of the lineup, really just trying to find that consistency with a lot of them.
How difficult is it to find that balance between being aggressive enough to challenge these elite defensive players, yet also not constantly hitting the ball out of bounds as Megan Lush misses one?
There's so much to it, you know, especially when you're coming in. A lot of it is connection-based. You want to have a good connection with your setter, something that's consistent, so you're not always having to adjust to a set that's off. But, yeah, you want to stay aggressive, but you also have to find ways to beat the block, whether that's great court vision, maybe you're going to off-speed shots. That also develops over time, and that really comes with experience.
Because if you're watching and you're not sort of, maybe you're a little bit new to the sport, you want to fully grasp the point here. It's not just, oh, I hit it harder, it might or might not go and bounce. In order to be a good hitter, you're dealing with an opposing block where you have to hit basically shots that are intentionally out. You're trying to hit the ball off the hands.
So a really good player to watch for this is actually number 14 for Vegas, Adora Anai. She doesn't make anything harder than it has to be. She does have some pretty flashy shots straight down, but a lot of times she's just trying to beat the block in whatever way that means. She might go to off speeds. She's really smart about looking at a block going off of the hands. A really good outside hitter to potentially model, even if you're a young player coming up in the game. She doesn't make anything look too hard.
Van Buskirk goes around the block, was dug by Isabella Raypoch. There's an eye showing what she can do.
A perfect example of that. She sees that the blockers are too far in, taking away her cross court, just takes an easy one right down the line to the back corner.
So it's that read and anticipation there. And a good serve to boot. Other difficult situations when you got to take a swing like that out of system and try and still be aggressive, and sometimes that's the result, like it was there for Raypoch.
Out of system swings are so hard too because you almost always have two blockers pretty well formed right in front of you.
The block knows where it's going when the team has fewer options and is out of system. Sarame scoops it. Raypoch. That's a great example of if no block existed, that ball is going out of bounds, but she's hitting off the top of the hands on purpose to score the point.
And this is something that hitters practice a lot, actually. They'll put up either whether it's a real block or just pads up there. You kind of just want to swing straight for the fences because you know it's going to get a hand.
There are times, if you're, again, sort of newer, we're trying to explain certain things, you'll see a player hit one way over the top and come nowhere near the court. And you think, what were they doing there? Well, they're trying to hit the hands, just like Raypoch has done the last couple of points, this time using the edge.
Yeah, Raypoch is so good at it, too. She's good at seeing where the block is and just going right off of the fingertips.
And that is her 10th kill of the night. The Vegas leader, Anai, has 11. Graham makes the dive. Raypoch looking for more. Jardine gets a chance. Rivera with the vacuum. Georgiadis, the second ball, and Raypoch splits the block that time. She's on a heater at the moment.
What a set from Kate Georgiadis. Knows exactly where she is on that back line, picks the foot up, and gets Raypoch in the perfect spot to absolutely demolish this ball inside.
Raypoch is absolutely feeling it. 13-8 Columbus, timeout Vegas. Tuesday at 9 Eastern. join the women of We Need to Talk to break down the biggest topics in sports right here on CBS Sports Network. Well, we need to talk about Isabella Raypoch right now. She continues to build on her excellent day. Again, playing through an injury that she recently sustained in practice. 12 kills, 346, 8 digs for the right side hitter.
And really going off when it's counted for Columbus. She started kind of that heater late in the second set, which was when the Fury made that run to end up taking it. They were down 7 at one point during the last set. Now find themselves up 5, and Raypoch has been a big part of that. She's been completely terminal on the right side. They're really getting her going front and back court.
She's from Glenview, Illinois, but has roots in Poland. Actually played for 4 years previously in Poland. Played at Temple from 2014 through 2017. Was a 3-time All-American Conference performer at Temple, and is now back in the States as a pro for the first time. The team has had a down year, but Raypoch, she's had a great year. 7th in the league in both points scored and kills.
She's been so impressive, and kind of coming off of a little bit of an injury in the beginning of the year, really has come into form late for this team and just been so consistent.
Massive serve by Rivera, scores another point for the Columbus Fury.
The biggest thing Columbus needed to do after set 1 was really turn on that service pressure. That's something they've done really well, forcing Vegas out of system, going after seams super well.
Rivera targeting Maddox. Maddox pass to attack. Back row attack for an eye. Popped up by Rivera. Georgiadis bump sets this time, and Lush with a thumb down swing.
Impressive shot for Megan Lush on the outside. Another really good out-of-system ball. Kate Georgiadis, this is something she does so well. As a libero, yes, you have to serve, receive really well, and defend. But a lot of it is that second touch as well. You need to put your hitters in good situations if you're taking it.
Georgiadis, a rookie out of Houston. A 5-0 Columbus run. Cox wasn't expecting that set. Raypoch, everything she's doing is working. Isabella Raypoch.
The defense for Columbus has been so impressive. I mean, for Rivera to get her hands up in time, that ball came so fast, and Raypoch putting it down. (16-8), Columbus leads Vegas, all tied up at 1 set apiece, but Columbus up big in the third. Let's take a look at Emily's candidates for Libero of the Year. This was really difficult pulling together, but the #1 person that just can't be left off this list, and not even just one of the best liberos, but best players in the league, is Morgan Hens from Atlanta. By far leads the league in digs per set. Already broke the single season record. She is just phenomenal, and in playing with the USA national team, she's just that good. Then you have Elena Ogilvie for Grand Rapids. I think she's doing phenomenal things in her rookie season. She's a really great passer, but also has really high dig numbers, so kind of that perfect balance. Kind of an under-the-radar player. She's not very flashy, but she gets it done. And this third one was probably the most difficult for me to decide between, but Elena Scott got the nod because since she became the starting libero 12 matches into the season, she's averaged over 4 digs per set and is one of the best passers in the entire league.
Kate Georgiadis, Tegan DeFalco. The matchup here in this one. Columbus hitting 360 in the set. Vegas at 077. And Rivera looking to connect with Walker. No contact there up top on the block. Vegas the side out, 16-9.
And connection just a little bit off between Rivera and Walker this set, just a little bit too low.
A change here for Vegas. Sophie Davis making just her third career match appearance. Will play middle blocker in the front with Van Buskirk, the other middle spot going back to serve. Davis, a third-round pick last year by Omaha out of James Madison.
Vegas with yet another service error, their 13th on the night.
Davis tips. Georgiadis the layout. And Davis is there with the block after checking in. Just her fourth set appearance of her career.
Stepping in and stepping up. Sophie Davis with a massive shutdown. Gotta think those fresh legs had a little something to do with it. Beautiful read.
She's the former Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Year, so the blocking would be her strength. Well, Vegas really mixing it up. Now a Nye comes out. Cameron Hanna makes her first appearance, and Alicia Childress is back in.
I'm gonna be honest, not sure what the strategy is here with having two setters on the court. Could be a sub count situation.
Well, Hannah is a Cameron Hanna. There's also two Hannahs out there. Hannah Maddox and Cameron Hanna is a former left side in college, but has mostly played right side this year and has not spent much time in serve receive. She just had a look in serve receive there. Definitely a different look right now for the Thrill with two setters in the match. Rivera to Kaylee Cox. Hannah is going to play left side, something she has not done much of this pro season. Obviously, she won a national championship in that capacity for Penn State. She was the #4 overall pick.
Vegas is challenging block touch.
And they're going to see if Cameron Hanna's shot made contact with a block.
Yeah, certainly more than capable of playing outside. Of course, we saw what she did last season with Penn State. Like you said, went on to win that national championship. But it's also something that she hasn't been training every day. Of course, she normally lines up as an opposite, maybe takes some swings on the left side, but it's definitely an adjustment when you're going from the right to the left.
Okay, do you have any guesses at the two setters?
It could be a substitution issue right now. It looked like there was some confusion while they were checking in, like this wasn't their the intentional subs that they were hoping to make.
What do you do with two setters out there? What is the others?
Who's taking it?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's pretty limiting in terms of offensive options because if you're out of system, pretty much everything has to go outside.
And neither one of them is a player that you would think of as an attacking option.
No. It looks like Jardine is about to check back in, though, so we'll probably have that solved pretty quickly.
No block touch. They, as you said, re-enter Jardine, so that solves that.
Could have been an issue, too, maybe not wanting Jardine to serve because her serve's been pretty inconsistent, so leaving
Okay, now
in the serve.
I think we've maybe narrowed in on it.
But I don't know if you risk that and not having that offensive option by just having her serve, but unless there was some
That had to be it. Just surprising to see with a setter coming in. Kind of was a weird look for a second there. Old Jardine, a big swing.
Vegas knew that their right side had to be big in a matchup like this because they've had so much production in each of their other matchups. It was something that Columbus knew coming in. That Vegas always has a good outside option, but if the right side can go off, that really provides a lot.
Lewis off the block and out.
Good target for Morgan Lewis, seeing where the block was, hand not turned back in, so she's able to go right off of it.
Hard to believe Vegas was up a set, up 12-5 in the second, and since then it's been all Columbus. Good swing there from Hannah.
Cameron Hannah stepping in, taking a good pass, getting it up, not a perfect ball, but up enough to get that set. And then, I mean, she flies up. I don't know if there's anyone that has a higher vertical than her. She's crazy. Her hang time's ridiculous.
She's gone off at times this year, again, from the right side position for the thrill. 13+ kills 5 different times.
Great defense on both sides. Vegas putting up this ball. Jardine has a great look at it. Good lead from Carly Graham, too, setting behind her head to set this one up. Vegas is lucky on that one because it looked like Columbus was in the net, but they didn't challenge it.
Thrill trying to get closer. Hannah. And a timeout coming. 3-0 run for Vegas.
Sometimes all it takes is just checking in some new faces, getting a new vibe out there, sparking something on their side.
Let's take a look at the team huddle brought to you by Spalding. First for Columbus, in a similar position to where Vegas was in set 2. They've had the big lead, trying to protect it. What do you think Angel Perez is talking about with his team?
Well, the biggest thing that's led to this Vegas run has been pretty good serving from the Thrill. So he should be telling his backcourt, hey, just get this ball up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Our setter can come in, make a good play off of a 10-foot pass. Also having a conversation with his setter in his middle to maybe try to get something going in the middle. It has to start with a good pass, though.
Looks like Ramon Hernandez-Cruz has wrapped up his huddle, but when you're trying to make your way back into a set from a big deficit, what's the mindset?
I think the mindset is we have nothing to lose right now. Let's go all out. And we're seeing that from Vegas' side. They're serving a lot tougher, hitting with a lot more pace as well.
Tom-com to Lewis. That will do it.
Great response from the Fury coming out of that timeout, nailing a good pass, and Lewis going right off of the block. Exactly what Columbus needed.
All right, I'm going to have to say something after that one. That's the third time that the ball has come right at me. I don't know what it is today. One time it was so fast that I had to duck, and that's two different catches in a row. That's definitely an illegal volleyball play that I did there.
Set it. See your hands a little bit.
In a timeout right now at 22-15.
Columbus is trying to keep doing what they're doing, keep that service pressure up, and I think the defense really has been the difference. From about halfway through the second set up until now, could be that libero switch. I mean, having Kate Georgiadis in there has been great. She is racking up dig after dig. Her out-of-system setting has been phenomenal, really limiting what Vegas has been able to do.
Well, Columbus issues offensively this season, certainly adding Tom-com at the setting position late, helping some of these numbers, but they're still down towards or at the bottom of the league. But they've been looking better. And as this match has gone along, they've gotten better.
I think there's no better way, too, for a team than you want to end your season on a high note. Despite how everything's gone, doesn't matter where your place is in the league. You want to end with some positivity, and getting a win here would be massive for the Fury.
That's a kill for Lauren Jardine. She gets a left side swing there in that rotation.
The throws outside's having a lot of success going for that outside blocker.
Cameron Hanna, part of the reigning national championship Penn State Nittany Lions, with the serve. Now Hannah Maddox playing some dodgeball back there. Kaylee Cox getting out of the way of it once she realized there was no block touch.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Good job, Kaylee Cox.
I forgot until recently that Hank Azaria was actually playing the character in that video that you just referenced right there. With
Patches of Houlihan?
Yeah.
The coach?
Yeah.
Oh. Good film.
As Maddox is blocked.
Good answer for Columbus. Vegas's outsides has been having a lot of success tooling that block right off. But Raypoch made a good adjustment, turning her hands back inside the court, really taking away that line shot.
Set point here for Columbus. Still going. Good hustle by Vegas, but Raypoch puts an end to it all, and Columbus blows out the Vegas Thrill in set 3.
Vegas just losing steam, but Columbus coming storming back, really figuring out those problems that they had earlier on in the match, finding ways to get it done. And this offense is looking pretty good headed into set 4.
The final number, 278 in the set for Columbus. Look at what Columbus has done since they were down by 7 in the second set. 46-27, the point margin. You don't really see that very often. That's a massive point margin in volleyball.
A huge turnaround for this Columbus team, and the thing that they're doing well is just controlling their side. All of those touches, whether it's serving-wise, putting in tougher serves, the passing has improved immensely from where it was. Then defensively, they're really digging in, getting good touches on some of Vegas's offensive plays, and then also just making really good defensive plays in the backcourt.
This bizarro world for Vegas, a team that normally loses the first set and then seems to gain steam as the match goes along. Vegas Thrill winning a first set for just the third time this season in 28 matches. It's also a team that has won 4 different reverse sweeps this year, all at home. They're 6-2 in the 5th set this season, despite their 10-17 record. So typically, again, they get better as it goes along. Not today against the Columbus team. It's looking for a clean season sweep of the series against Vegas. Already 3-0 in matches against the Thrill, and Columbus takes the early lead in the 4th set, looking to close out Vegas for the sweep of the season series. On the D-ball, Jardine.
Really smart shot from Lauren Jardine. And this is a player that's known for that power. I mean, she can absolutely rip a ball. So when she goes to that off-speed shot, it really catches the defense off guard because you're expecting that power shot.
That was touched. And so a kill for Isabella Rapach.
Well, opposite on opposite action going here, both sides getting a little bit outside heavy toward the end of that 3rd set. Got to establish that right side again, and really both sides, honestly, both could use a little more middle production.
This serve by Megan Lush.
Columbus has really tried to go for that short serve. Sometimes we've seen them miss short, but what it does is it chokes up the offense. So even if it's an easy ball to play, it takes someone out of it.
Good serve by Maddox. Just tracked down by Megan Lush. This is going out, though.
At this level, I mean, those are plays you just can't have. If you have someone chase down a ball for you, you got to just put in an easy ball.
$18 aces coming in for Maddox. That's number 6 in the entire league. And she is scoring some points on her serve.
Maddox is a player that gets more and more comfortable back there. And if you let her get in a rhythm, I mean, it's game over.
Couple points scored in a row for her. 3-0 run for the Vegas Thrill. That's a nasty jump serve, handled pretty well by Kaylee Cox. DeFalco laying out. And an eye off the blocking down.
Huge transition play. Tegan DeFalco laying out for this ball. Even with some heat, she was able to get it off. Then you have Anaya in a good position to take a big swing at this against 3 blockers up front.
The 12 kills now for Adora Anaya, ties a season high since coming to Vegas on April 1st. She did have 27 in a match earlier this season with Orlando, but her best since coming to Vegas. And the efficiency has been really impressive as well, hitting over 400 from the outside. Adora Anaya.
Anaya's just a player that doesn't make it harder than it has to be. She hits whatever shot's available, whether that's a power shot or if it's a tip, or really good at using the block.
Back set to Rapach. Off the mark.
And all of a sudden, we're seeing a flip-flop of what we saw during set 3. Everything going Vegas's way, and a lot of unforced errors on Columbus' side.
Misconnection. Rivera had to rise up to try and set it. Ramelsburg wasn't quite on time. And Vegas is way ahead early on in the 4th set. Timeout on the court. Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports is presented by Chase Sapphire. Columbus visiting Vegas in the season finale for the entire league on this Sunday evening. Just about to hit 8 o'clock local time. It's a 2-1 set lead in the best 3 out of 5 match for Columbus, but Vegas has jumped in front. It's a 7-1 run and an 8-3 advantage with Lane Van Buskirk behind the line. Ray Poch getting set once again. Graham with an excellent play.
Just a fun play at a good time. I mean, those are the kind of plays that will get your team hyped. Setter on the move. Defense is not expecting this at all, and just an easy pushover on 2 to the middle of the court.
You have the world-class starter for most of the season in Alicia Childress, but Graham gives them energy. She has started more recently setting up a 9 with a big swing. That could have been a double, right? Dug by Lush. Ray Poch with an impressive swing. But wait a second. It was on the wrong side of the antenna.
Yeah, these are the plays that are really hard to tell because you don't have a down ref on the court any longer, so the up ref doesn't have a good angle at where that ball is going, but corrected before a challenge was needed.
5-0 run. Off the block and out for Kaylee Cox. Yeah, I'm going to chastise myself on the air for trying to say what might be a double contact and what not.
I mean, it's super fair. It's subjective. I mean, what might be a double to you might not be a double to me. I know refs now are a little more lax about it, but that totally could have been called.
I need to learn that rule, though.
That totally could have been called. It depends on the ref.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, if he calls it, then you're going to get a lot of pushback from the coach because it is questionable, and normally the ones that are questionable, they just don't call. Unless it's like super egregious.
Yeah.
But that totally could have been called. I agree.
To me, I thought I saw the spin, and it seemed really obvious.
It was not pretty.
Yeah. Well, it's over at this point. That was a pretty set right there from Rivera to Kaylee Ramelsberg.
I've been really impressed with Rivera tonight. I mean, the connections that she's had with her attackers have been awesome, and her defense is putting her in a good position to get it done. Ramelsberg has also been really impressive. Getting it done in every possible way for Vegas right now. Good setup on this block. Turns her shoulders to face the attacker's shoulders, and that gets this one done.
And that short serve. Vegas has a couple players that really specialize in that, and they actually both played for Orlando last year. Carly Graham, the setter, and Adora Anai.
This is the perfect rotation to do this in because there is no player right there in that zone 4.
Coming close to another serve, another ace serve there. Pretty good set by Graham, finding Maddox. And an impressive out-of-system set. Lush sends it to the court.
And that was one of the best out-of-system sets that we've seen, coming from the complete other side of the court. A ball just chucked all the way up. Good tracking from Lush to put it down.
Still a 13-6 Vegas Thrill advantage. Bad pass by DeFalco, and Lush puts it away.
Really good serve from Ramelsberg. I mean, she's had these moments where she's just gone off during matches and forced these overpasses, doing a really nice job serving the seams between the passers.
Played her rookie pro season in Finland. Kaylee Ramelsberg now back in the States. Well, Jardine can get up there. She hung in the air and put it down.
I love the way that Vegas makes their offense a little bit more dynamic. Jardine lines up as an opposite, so she's playing right back, but they'll switch these players around, have an eye hit on the right side in the back row, and Jardine come through the middle.
Sophie Davis to serve. One-handed there. Kaylee Cox with the dig. Rayposh has to tip. Unai, back set. Unai to the ground. It's Walker on the slide right there. That's a long point, and Columbus wins.
A really good transition play on Columbus's side. That defense just absolutely locked in to what's happening for Vegas. And honestly, I think Adora Unai is playing one of the best sets that we've seen her play. I mean, she's taking over.
She's doing it in a number of different ways.
So many digs just during that rally alone.
Always great passing. She had at one point, I think, a block mixed in there during this set.
Again, just too many errors on the Fury side. We're seeing a lot of hitting errors, now a lot of serving errors as well. Their third missed one of the set.
Well, the first 12 sets of the season series between these two teams, each team scored 20 points. They were all close through 4 different matches, including the first 2 sets today. That streak has come to an end as Maddox is just off the sideline. With Columbus winning the third set, 25-16, and this has been an equal blowout so far in the opposite direction. Although Vegas was up by 7 early in the second set, and then things have gone awry since then. So they have to protect this lead. Jardine from the middle.
I love this play when you have a right side attacker coming in front, and then you have a middle attacker coming back on a slide. It really confuses that defense and pays off in Vegas's favor. Jardine coming through with a hammer for an arm to continue to extend that lead.
How about for the 8th year pro out of the University of Utah, Adora Unai? How about 12 kills, 11 digs, 2 blocks, and an ace?
Getting it done in every single way possible. It's not just her contributions offensively. Yeah, she's putting a lot of balls down and making it look easy out there, but it's that all-around game. She's one of the most consistent passers that Vegas has, and defensively, I mean, she's putting up libero-type numbers in the backcourt.
And that efficiency is still up there close to 400.
She's just a perfect model of what to be as an outside. You have to be able to do it all. You're playing 6 rotations. You're relied on in so many different ways, and she's so good at all of it.
A high swing, and a block touch was the call.
Another really good shot from the outside, going high with this ball, seeing big blockers in front of her in an out-of-system play, just swinging for fingertips.
A nice, similar type of swing. This time it's a clean miss.
And sometimes that'll happen. You're going for those high fingertips, and the block becomes more disciplined, going low and over. Sometimes you'll just send that ball out of bounds, but another really good shot.
So if you're the blocker, you're saying you want to be careful about the height. You want to just work on that extension through.
Yeah, block, you don't need to be high up. You want to be low and over, taking away as much of that angle as you can.
On the slide, that's Van Buskirk off the top of the hands.
And Buzzard started off this match really strong during set one, but Vegas has gone away from the middle a bit as their passing numbers dipped. Getting back into it this fourth set, and Van Buskirk needs to get a lot more sets when she's up front.
At the last match of the PVF regular season, and fittingly, in this league it's known for exciting, lengthy points and matches that take interesting twists and turns, unpredictability across this league. It looks like it's going 5.
I mean, it's got 5 written all over. But hey, we saw Columbus come back from a 7-point deficit in the second set, so you just never know what can happen.
I'm not sharpieing it. Just getting ready for
Pencil.
it. Pencil's out. The pencil's
I mean,
down.
more volleyball for all of us. I can't complain. Give me 6 sets.
Change the rules. Well, if you're going to do 6, you need 7.
That's true. We're going 7, then we might as well go 8.
I feel like we could continue this conversation in the same path for a while if we chose to, but 19-11, an 8-point Vegas lead. They're going to double sub despite the huge lead. Willow Johnson, Alicia Childress. It'd be interesting to see how much longer Alicia Childress decides to do it.
I think as long as she wants to keep doing it, she's going to keep doing it. I mean, she is still playing great ball right now and just such a great inspiration for everyone. I know she won the league's most inspirational award last season, very well deserved. I hope she plays forever.
I hope so too. I'm just saying she's out here enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
Last year's PVF most inspirational award winner.
I think people forget too, not with Alicia Childress, but with other players in the league, like sometimes you never know when it's their last game. Ali Bastianelli announced her retirement earlier yesterday, which I think was a shock to a lot of people pretty early on in her career. So you just never know, like you said, just soak it up.
Of course, a big part of the inspiration for Alicia Childress, in addition to her outsized impact on the volleyball community, is the fact that she's a mother.
Yeah.
Balancing that aspect of her life with the professional athlete life. Alicia Glass at Penn State, as she was known, but she's married to the former NBA player Josh Childress. And Maddox scores.
For Childress to continue to do what she's able to do at this high of a level this late on in her career, again, mother of 3, everything she has going on outside the court. I mean, it's no wonder why she's one of the most inspirational people, not just in this league, but really all of sports, to show other women what's possible that you can do.
And I think about the kind of shape she keeps herself in. It's a good set from her right there to Sophie Davis to be, when she's in there playing regularly, Childress, one of the top setters at her position defensively, floor defense.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from experience, too. I mean, she just knows what hitters are going to do. She's been playing the game for so long. She knows what position to be in and where to go. She doesn't make it look too hard. She's just really good at reading back there.
The part of the most legendary team in NCAA women's volleyball history, with the 4-peat and the longest winning streak of all time. She was there for 3 of those national championships, and just an outstanding college career, and a bronze medalist in the Olympics. Now in the PVF in her second year with the Vegas Thrill. Cameron Hanna, another Penn State national champion, is blocked right there.
And pretty cool right now even to see 3 different national champions for Penn State on the court at one time, along with Megan Lush for Columbus.
And of course, I got one more for you, which is Ramon Hernandez Cruz, the head coach for Vegas, winning on the men's side in 1994. He was the most outstanding player. But this set is getting a little bit closer here. Lush makes it 21-16.
Columbus was down 7 points. We saw him come back for that deficit during set 2. This is a team that's going to continue fighting no matter what. They're not going to lay down.
This is a serve-receive lineup that is not spent a lot of time with each other out there, with Cameron Hanna getting a rare look this pro season at left side. Hasn't been in serve-receive most of the year. That's a key side out there.
It's a big side out, and a decision for sure to serve a 9 in this rotation, probably trying to take the right side attack out, but Childress is a talented enough setter to still set that right side attack, even though the ball is coming from over her head.
Anytime Anaya's out there, I'm not trying to serve at her.
Literally anywhere except her, unless you're trying to be tactical about it, but probably not with a setter like Childress.
Couple of players up there taking a swing for Vegas. Morgan Lewis, well, Vegas was in the net. Seen a few of those today where they've just, on the swing up, have just grabbed a whole lot of net.
Trying to be just a little bit too aggressive on that play.
Vegas still 3 points away. Powerful right side, Morgan Lewis is back to serve. Anaya loves to use her hands as a passer. And Van Buskirk throws down on the gap set.
Good finish on Vegas' side. A good pass allows this to happen. A really good connection between setter and hitter here on this gap.
Lane Van Buskirk has thrived late in his season, was elevated back up from the practice squad on April 12th, coming off a game against Orlando where she had 10 kills, 7 blocks, hit .368. And a miss serve there. Van Buskirk, though, today with 7 kills. She actually had to receive 5 serves and is passing 4 out of 5. Positive.
And a lot of that is Columbus is really trying to jam her up and take her out of the offense if they can serve a short ball and have her pass.
Gets another swing. Oh! She punches that straight down. Lane Van Buskirk. Found the right angle, got a piece of the net. It was so vertical, right down from Lane Van Buskirk. Swing from Kevin. Well, we got a couple of buzzers going on right now. The hockey goal horn. Somewhere in there beforehand,
Columbus
there was
is challenging block touch.
The buzzer for a challenge.
I couldn't hear it. Sounding off a party in here.
Young Park, the R1, with the announcement. Bill Thornburg is the R2. At the scorer's table, helping out on these replay reviews. Each team gets 2 challenges per set, and if you win a challenge, you keep it. And no matter what, you get 2 more the next set. So in a set point situation like this, there's really never a reason not to challenge.
Might as well.
Columbus looking for a block touch. Lest you forget, this is the home of the Henderson Silver Knights, a co-tenant, the AHL team in Lee's Family Forum. Going to the 5th set coming up in the PVF season finale. for those that are tuning in late on a Sunday night, we can, with 100% certainty, declare that this will be the last regular season set this season in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
I mean, it's only fitting that this matchup went 5 sets. I mean, both these teams not in the playoff picture, but both still playing for a lot. Vegas is trying to go out on a win for their organization, for these home fans. Columbus, not the season that they would have wanted, but they're trying to go out on a high note.
Wilma Rivera starts out the set with his serve, and Bus Kurt was blocked but covered by Maddox. Great play by Hannah Maddox. Anai takes charge, puts it over. Rivera to Raypoch. Columbus's top scorer on the season is dug by Adora Anai. Raypoch takes the first touch, pass to attack, off the Maddox block attempt. It's the 4th time I've touched the ball today. Somehow.
Already we're seeing some scrappy defense on both sides. And for my partner, AJ Cannell, okay.
I don't know what it is. I'm a vacuum today.
Kind of like Adora Anai back there. She's getting hit left and right.
Anai's got better hands. But other than that, D-ball, Jardine takes something off. Does find the setter, Georgiadis, using the hands, and Lush with the kill. 2-0 start for the Columbus Fury in the 5th set.
Columbus's offense looked better during set 2 and set 3, then took about a little bit of a dip in set 4. Vegas's defense really turning up along with their offense. Columbus has got to get back to what we saw during the last set, just a balanced effort.
Carly Graham getting on the same page with her hitters, giving out the signals there. Got a good shot of that from a great crew here in Vegas. That's a solid play. A couple of different plays by Georgiadis, just stabilizing back there. And Raypoch terminates.
That coverage really paying off in the backcourt for Kate Georgiadis. Columbus made the switch during set 2 to go to a 2-libero system, and they've really paid dividends with her back there.
Early timeout called by Vegas. They look to regroup before this gets out of hand. Well, one of the cool things that these two teams have in common is the connection to Puerto Rico. Of course, you have both Wilma Rivera and Paula Sarame, 2 key players for Columbus from Puerto Rico, but you trace it back to the coaching staff. Both head coaches, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz for Vegas, Angel Perez for Columbus. And there's a little bit of a coaching tree here that you trace up to Carlos Cardona, the lead assistant for the Columbus Fury, who's in the background right there, just behind Angel Perez. There's a good look at Carlos Cardona. He actually is the mentor of Vegas head coach Ramon Hernandez-Cruz. And 2009 through 2012 on the Puerto Rico national team, Cardona was the head coach. Ramon Hernandez-Cruz was an assistant coach. And this is the men's national team we're talking about. Angel Perez was a player on that team, the head coach now for the Columbus Fury.
It's always fun to see those coaching trees play out, and just coaches that clearly know each other very well, kind of know what they're going to do. Of course, they played for a coach like that. Now learning from a coach like that, it's just so cool to see that trickle down.
So before today's match, every single set these two teams had played, both teams had reached 20. Although Columbus has owned the season series 3-0, it's no surprise, a lot of close sets. And now we have a really close match between these two Puerto Rico natives, the head coaches. In the 5th set, Jardine is sent back by Megan Lush. It's a 4-0 start for the road team.
Heck of a read for Megan Lush up front, a solo stuff, identifying that right side set, getting in front of it perfectly.
Another PVF classic in the season finale. Two teams that know they're not going to the postseason, but still just giving it everything, entertaining all the viewers. It's been all Columbus, though, in the 5th.
And Vegas, the only team they haven't beat so far in the PVF has been Columbus. They have beat teams 1 through 6, but some reason they don't match up well against Columbus, or they play a little bit different. Sometimes those matchups just get in your head.
Vegas, a little bit of confusion there for a second, who they wanted to sub in. Mayfield was taking her warm-up off, but then Childress lines up coming in to replace Graham at center. It's a one-for-one switch there at center.
Just looking for a little more offense on Vegas' side.
DeFalco, good pass, and Vegas side out. Not here. Hannah Maddox is rejected. It's 6-0 Fury.
The Fury's defense is completely locked in right now. The block is doing such a great job reading some of these plays. Even when those pins don't have a ton of middle help, they're setting it up incredibly well and getting their hands low and over.
Hard to imagine back in the first set, the thrill hit 444. Columbus has totally turned this match around. Way ahead in the fifth set. Lush. Aggressive swing, tumbling dig with one hand by an eye. But Maddox misses the mark. A touchdown lead for Columbus.
A lot of missed opportunities on Vegas' side. Wilma Rivera putting in bullets from the end line for Columbus. The passers are handling it, though. Getting Childress up on the money. The offense just hasn't been able to click.
And no surprise that it's happening on Wilma Rivera's serve. Finally, 7 straight points on Rivera's serve. Vegas won the coin toss, chose to receive serve, which makes sense. That's usually the advantage. But Rivera helping Columbus win 7 in a row.
Yeah, Rivera, clearly one of the Fury's best servers. That nasty topspin that was handled pretty well by the Thrill. They just weren't able to connect. Now they got to look for some momentum here on defense.
Vegas in rotation 1. Columbus sides out quickly. Walker.
And that serve just a little bit too easy. Easy pass leads to that middle attack. It's been difficult to stop when Columbus's middles are in system.
The teams trade sides at this point in the fifth set to 15. Timeout on the floor. Such a big lead like this in a match that's been close most of the way. Very rare. It's the fifth set to 15, win by 2. Columbus way in front.
It's all offense against not a lot of offense. Columbus is firing right now, hitting 500. Vegas hasn't found any connection, hitting nearly negative 300.
We get a chance here, and now that we have a chance for a moment as the teams get back out, get ready to play, coming out of the timeout. Your final thoughts, predictions, or just more your anticipatory thoughts on the PVF Championship coming up here in Vegas in less than a week?
Well, I think we're going to have some pretty insane matches. You look at the talent that are among those 4 teams just spread out, and it really could be anyone's game. I will say the way that Atlanta finished the season, they lost today against Omaha, of course, without some of their starters. But a 13-match win streak, I think Atlanta right now, to me, looks like the team to beat.
It's going to be interesting to see, is that loss maybe some type of foreboding result for them, or is it actually a good thing to take the pressure off?
It could be good. You're also going up against an Orlando team that is the best offense right now in the PVF. So honestly, I think that Atlanta-Orlando match is going to be pretty insane to watch. It's just going to be a slugfest.
And Indy as well looking to upset Omaha in that 1-4 matchup. Indy coming in with a sub-500 record after struggling late in the season, but so much talent. I feel like they actually have as good a chance as anyone despite the record. I think there are a lot of interesting storylines. My eyes, though, actually, to your original point, are on Atlanta, and I'll explain why after this lengthy rally that Jardine puts an end to. It's that Atlanta was the regular season champion last year. They were upset in the first round in the semifinals last year. And obviously a great finish to the point there from Lauren Jardine. I think Atlanta's had that chip on its shoulder all year. 13-match winning streak. Players that are competitive like Leah Edmond and Marlene Montserrat and Morgan Hens, they want so badly to atone for last year.
And that we're on that team. They know how it feels, and players that are some of the most competitive that you'll see. I think it's going to make for an insanely competitive championship.
So I want to see, like, knowing what happened last year, do they tighten up a little bit, not wanting to let it happen again, or does it feed into that competitiveness for Atlanta to just conquer that team?
I think knowing those players and the mindset, players like Edmond, Montserrat, Hens, those are not players that tighten up in those big kind of moments. Yeah. I think they're going to play loose, they're going to play free, but they're going to play with a massive chip on their shoulder, and I wouldn't want to be Orlando headed into that.
And they're playing against Orlando, a team that has the most unstoppable single player in the league this year in Brittany Abercrombie, who by far leads the league in points scored. So looking forward to that matchup as well as the Indy versus Omaha match, but we have a challenge here.
Challenging floor touch.
We just kind of summarized Indy versus, or rather Atlanta versus Orlando. Give me some Indy Omaha thoughts.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is these are two really good defensive teams. I think teams that are able to dig in really long rallies normally when these two teams meet up. I'm really pumped to see the matchup of Brooke Nuneviller against Johnny Taylor as they're going to go up on it. Taylor being an opposite, Nuneviller being an outside. I think that's a matchup I'm looking forward to, kind of what gives in terms of that and what player is really going to shine. You know, both have stars, but who's going to take over that match when it's needed in the first round?
I think the eyebrow-raising thing about that Indy versus Omaha match is that Omaha clearly the favorite.
Yeah.
But then you look at the setter and the libero. It's hard to argue with Indy's setter and libero, and ball control so important in playoff matches.
Absolutely. You have arguably the best setter in the league in Sydney Hilly for Indy, and then Elena Scott, who didn't start for Indy until about the 11th match of the season and just has skyrocketed and taken complete control of that. She's also playing next to a lot of players that you don't play like liberos in the backcourt. So again, I think it's going to be an awesome defensive battle. It's going to be a question of, can Indy put down enough balls? They've had so many switches to their offense lately. Can they find consistency this late in the season?
Well, because for Omaha, it's like they have an extra libero with Brooke Nuneviller back there. So she just does so much for them from a ball control standpoint. It's going to be interesting. Columbus is just blowing out Vegas in the fifth set, slamming the door shut on the regular season. And that is a net violation to make it 12-2.
What a finish here for Columbus. I mean, your season doesn't go the way you wanted. You've beaten Vegas 3 times already this season. You know it's tough. You know, they always say it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season. It's even tougher to beat a team 4 times in a single season, but Columbus has found a way to just shut the door on a team that has given them trouble.
Talk about a momentum builder for the offseason for Columbus. They're trying to bring some additions in to help bolster their roster. Of course, Vegas gets the added benefit of hosting the championships and using that as a little bit of a built-in recruiting tool to show players more of what Vegas is about. That ball barely out. Also, you talk about playing a team 4 times. Hey, think about it. These matchups now, everyone playing each other for the 5th time in the postseason matchups. Anai off the mark. Columbus is 2 points away with a giant cushion in the season finale for the PVF 2025 regular season. Vegas looking to chip away. Adora Anai, what a day it has been for her.
Adora Anai has been fantastic for Vegas tonight, really getting it done in all different ways. Just hasn't had enough help from other players along her to put more balls down.
16 kills, 13 digs, a couple of stuff blocks, and an ace 61% in-system passing. It's all good.
Pretty insane numbers for a player that just does everything well. Again, she's not a flashy player. She's not getting these monster kills every single time. She just goes about her business and gets it done.
When it rains, it pours. It actually did rain today in Vegas.
That's got to be the juju, right?
Yeah, that's the explanation for what's going on. Columbus started this set 9-1. Match point. Anai. Nutsara Tom-Com to Megan Lush. That is going to do it for this match and the 2025 regular season. Columbus gets the series sweep 4-0 this year against Vegas, winning 15-5 in the fifth.
Complete domination from the Columbus Fury in this fifth set. Was really impressed with the way they turned things around after dropping that last one to come back and just blow out the home team.
And again, it's so cool to be here, Emily, because right here on this court on Friday coming up, 1-seed Omaha, 4-seed Indy at 8 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports Net. Then 2-seeded Atlanta plays the 3-seed Orlando at 10:30 Eastern approximately on CBS. What a match this was. Columbus outdueling Vegas for the 4th time this year at the upcoming site of the PVF Championship. For our entire outstanding crew, producer Jeff